Coming into the spring season of anime, I was totally lost at what to watch. After winter ended, I was having a crisis on figuring out what spring anime were worth watching, and at first I felt like there was nothing good out. But now that the spring anime season is almost over, I have to say I was totally wrong. I've watched a lot of the spring animes and I have to say they were great, and overall this was a good season of anime. Another thing that I noticed is that this season of anime was really sad. I don't know what it was about the anime that I was watching, but overall I felt like there was a dark and depressing theme in a lot of them. I found myself down and maybe shedding a few tears more than I'd expected, and that really surprised me. Personally, I'm a really big fan of sad animes. I don't know what it is about them, I just really enjoy the emotion they bring and how they're able to break certain cliches. Overall, I just really enjoy them, so I was really happy about the spring season. So if you're like me and really enjoy sad animes, then this video is perfect for you. In this video, I'll be talking about some of my favorite sad spring animes and why you need to check them out. So yeah, let's get right into it. First up on my list of sad spring animes you have to check out is Megalobox Nomad. Now, if you haven't seen season 1 of Megalobox, first off, I highly recommend it, but second off, spoiler alert, I'm going to be talking about season 2 here, so I recommend clicking off and not watching this part if you haven't seen season 1. But yeah, let's get right into it. So season 2 is set about 7 years after the end of season 1, which if you remember is when Joe was able to win the world championship against Yuri. It was a great moment, everything was going great for Team Nowhere, and Joe was at the top of the world. Now, season 2 is set 7 years after that, and everything has gone to shit, basically. Joe is all by himself, addicted to painkillers, he's an alcoholic, and he is unrecognizable. No one remembers him as the Joe who won the championship, and he is just totally lost, it looks like. Now, seeing this, I was pretty depressed at first. I really expected a happier story. I thought season 2 was going to be about maybe Sachio fighting, but no, it's nothing like that. It tells a really dark tale of the downfall of Joe, and we're able to see what he's become. But honestly, I think season 2 is still amazing. It's totally different than season 1. It really tackles Joe's past, and we're able to see him develop and face his past, and we're able to figure out what happened piece by piece. I really recommend it. I think the first arc is really great. We introduce a new character named Chief. I think he's greatly written. He's a great character. I think he's a bit of a foil to Joe in the beginning, as he has a strong sense of personal worth. He has a strong sense of community, and in that sense he's able to help Joe understand himself and face his past. And I think overall this show is amazing. I highly recommend it. It's definitely lived up to all the hype, and even though it's totally different than season 1, I think it's great in its own unique way, and it just has a lot of interesting themes. Overall, this anime is definitely dark and depressing, so be ready to be a little bit sad, especially after seeing season 1, but I still think it's amazing in its own way, and I highly recommend it. Alright, next up on my list of sad spring anime you have to check out is To Your Eternity. This anime is amazing. It definitely has had a lot of hype, and I feel like it's definitely lived up to it. Anime is great, and I think it's one of the standouts of the spring season. And in terms of emotion, this anime will definitely get you in its feels. If you don't think so, then I recommend at least checking out the first episode. I definitely felt emotional watching that episode, and I think that first episode really gives you a sense of what the anime is about. It's really well done, and overall, I just think the whole anime is an emotional roller coaster. But what stands out to me so much is how interesting the main character is. What I really liked is that our main character is kind of this emotionless person that is incapable of human emotion or human thinking, but still there's so much emotion and richness in the story despite that, and I really believe that has to do with the great side characters that are created, such as March and Gogu. Those characters were amazingly well written, and overall there is so much emotion in the story. There's a lot of sadness definitely, and there's some great moments. I highly recommend it. I recently finished the Gogu arc, which if you haven't seen, don't want to spoil anything, but oh man, that was really emotional. So definitely recommend checking this out. It's a great anime, lives up to all the hype, and it's definitely worth watching. The final anime that I really want to recommend is 86. This anime really surprised me. I didn't know what to expect going into it, and I watched a few episodes and I wasn't really impressed at first, but I recently finished season 1, and I have to say this anime is amazing. It tells a great story, and I really do want to recommend it. Now, what's so special about 86 is that it has a unique concept. I'm going to do my best to explain it here, but basically we are dealing with the Republic of San Magnolia that is currently at war with this enemy called the Legion, and they say they're using unmanned drones, but in reality they're using this group of people called the 86 to fight. They consider the 86 to not be humans, and they're constantly not valuing their lives. They call them pigs, and they're okay with them dying. And that's basically the main premise of the show. Our main character is named Lena. She's this major in the army, and we follow her as she's one of the only people that seems to value the lives of the 86. Overall, I think the anime is great. I think Lena is a great main character. She's this white-haired kawaii anime protagonist. Who doesn't like that? And also, the story gets really interesting when we're introduced to the 86 themselves. I think that's when I really fell in love with the anime. Just seeing their lives, meeting all these characters. The head of the 86 is this guy named Shin. He's a badass, great character, one of my favorites for sure. Overall, this story will definitely get you in your feels. It's beautifully done. I think this anime is amazing. I think a season 2 was recently confirmed, so I'm really excited about that. I definitely recommend checking this out. I feel like it's gone kind of under the radar. So if you haven't seen it, this is a great anime. Check it out. That's it for my list of satisfying animes you have to watch. I was thinking of putting some other animes on there, but I didn't feel like they were sad enough, or I wasn't sure if they'd fit on the list. But overall, let me know what you think in the comments. Drop a like, subscribe if you liked what you saw. But yeah, thanks for listening. Bye.
ありがとう。